Offensive clinic that we are on deck to see between Alabama and Duke. I want to brag on myself for a minute because a lot of people thought I was crazy for putting Alabama in my Final Four.
I thought you were crazy.
I still feel a little bit crazy picking Alabama over Duke going forward, but BJ, I just feel like when they are operating on all cylinders, you have a Mark Sears who had a chip on his shoulder, proved to the world why he was an All-American to start the year. You also have Cooper Flagg. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention his performance to this point. I mean, what on earth are we in store for later?
I mean, Alabama is one of the funnest teams in college basketball, right? Because they shoot so many three-pointers, right? The pace that they play at, the way that Nate Oates has coached this group to find those looks from behind the arc. I mean, 25 of their 35 made field goals in their win against BYU Thursday night were three-point shot attempts. All right, and you look at Mark Sears, obviously he's hot from deep, 34 points, 8 assists. Aiden Holloway gives you 23 points off the pine. I mean, this Alabama team can really score the basketball. Now, the question is, can they deal with the length of Duke, right? The size that Duke provides, being one of the biggest teams in college basketball with that starting five, Con Knipple at 6'7", Sion James at 6'6", Tyrese Proctor at 6'5", and then we know Kamar Malawach and Cooper Flagg are both up near 7 feet tall. So I think they're going to make it hard on Alabama to get some of those three-point looks off because they have that size and that length. But when you can shoot the ball the way Alabama can, you always got a chance.
Kyle, let me ask you this. Is this the game plan for Alabama? You have to shoot lights out from three in order to have success against Duke?
I think that's probably true. Yeah, they took 51 threes.
Insane.
In the Sweet 16.
It's a Boston Celtics number.
Yes, and made 25 of them. Mark Sears was fantastic. He was Chef Curry-esque in the way that he was just able to get to his spots and create offense from anywhere on the floor. Haley, I would counter, though, that Duke's offense is actually the one that we should be watching here.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, Alabama has been great, and the three-point shooting is phenomenal, but Duke's offense has been fantastic. Arizona's defense has been really good down the stretch. They scored 100 points against Arizona's defense, and Tommy Lloyd, the Arizona coach, after the game said, like, we're a good defensive team, and they made us look not good for long stretches of that game. And he kind of went on to talk about how the pieces fit. It's not just Cooper Flagg, it's Sion James, it's Tyrese Proctor. They have so many different weapons around them that I think the trouble, for Alabama in this game will be slowing Duke's offense.
Do we see 100 in this game?
It's very likely. All right. I mean, in the 3 games Alabama lost down the stretch of their season, they gave up 104 to Florida in the SEC championship. They gave up 110 to Missouri, all right? So in the games that Alabama lost, it's not because they didn't score points. They were up over 90 points in all those ball games. They just get outscored, all right? So if you're Duke, you can try to limit Alabama offensively. That's one way to look at it. That's one way they can win if they can hold Alabama to, a 75, 80-point-ish number. The other way to win is just outscore those boys, all right? Because the boys from Tuscaloosa want to get up and down. They want to put it in the hole, all right? Duke, again, has the ability to weaponize Cooper Flagg to Kyle's point. They put him in ball screens. They allow him to initiate off of pick-and-roll action. They put him in the corner where he comes and shake up opportunities. There's too many ways that John Shire has used his weapon. That's why it's so hard to stop Cooper Flagg, because he's just in so many different scenarios where he can be effective offensively.
Listen, you don't have to play good defense if you score more points than the other team. That's the Nate Oates way, am I right? That one gets underway at 8:49 Eastern from Newark. A reminder, Bama did beat Duke's rival, UNC, a year ago on their way to the Final Four. It is time now for our Naismith Award Watch, presented by Jersey Mike's, a sub above. Gentlemen, we have narrowed this down to 4 players across the country: Janai Broome, Cooper Flagg, Walter Clayton Jr., and Braden Smith. But I would argue I am not in the minority here when I say this is really a 2-leg race. It has been Janai Broome and Cooper Flagg pitted against one another all season long. I think I know which way we're all leaning here on the panel, but I want to hear it from you guys. Kyle, who gets the nod of all these players?
It's going to be Cooper Flagg for Duke. He leads Duke in scoring and rebounding, assists, steals, blocks. Like, you could just, the list goes on and on. He leads college basketball in box plus minus. He's one of the most efficient players in college basketball. I think to argue a Cooper Flagg versus Janai Broome for a second, you could take Janai Broome off of Auburn. I still think Auburn would be a top 5, top 10 team.
Okay.
Take Cooper Flagg off of Duke. I don't think Duke is anywhere near the force that it is right now, the defensive and offensive force. Just he is so crucial to what they do on both sides of the floor. I think Flagg has proven himself to be the best player in college basketball this season.
Yeah, I'm with Kyle. I think, you know, when you talk about Cooper Flagg and why he's so crucial to Duke, we can talk about the points, we can talk about the rebounds, we can talk about all the statistical production that he brings. He's the competitive spirit of that team, right? It's very rare that you get a guy with this much talent, that young, that is also the heart and soul of how they compete. I mean, when you talk to NBA scouts about Cooper Flagg, obviously they love how versatile he is as a player, but Kyle can attest to this. They love how hard he plays. All right, that's a big reason why he is going to be a franchise impacting player, because he is going to set the tone for how an NBA franchise competes night in and night out, because that's what he's done for Duke. So as good as he has been as a player production-wise, he's been just as important and pivotal in terms of the way this team competes and approaches the offensive and the defensive end of the floor from a competitive standpoint.
Later in the show, we're going to talk about the NBA draft. Cooper Flagg, no surprise, the consensus #1 pick there. I did want to mention that he did win this award at the high school level last year. He would be the first ever men's player to win it at the high school level and then go on and win it again in the college. Paige Becker's the only other player that has done that. Yeah. So, yes, you stole my fire there. Good company for sure. We are so excited for the madness to continue later today. Cooper Flagg and Duke taking on Alabama at 7:49 Eastern, all part of the Elite Eight as we get closer to crowning a champion. Don't forget, you can catch all the action on the March Madness Live app today and tomorrow.